1, 2, 3. Master the trickster tree. Complete the Wanderer's quest line. That would 3 out of 3. That would imply that there's nothing else, even though he said we'll meet again. Maybe that's a DLC thing. Well, I hope we actually get that. Unless it is continued, but it's not strictly his quest line. Don't know how they would really do that. Oh. Yeah, nice effort. A for effort. One thing I will levy against the game, very limited enemy types. There are some variances, but very limited enemy types. So I suppose it's just like, even among the aliens, it's still just the same tree. Tree. Everyone has their berserkers, everyone has their breachers, everyone has their riflemen. I suppose it makes sense, but at the same time it's just like, even the fucking aliens, none of them they've like a little like twist on something, but none, you know, like an extra ability here or there, but no one has anything truly unique. Didn't mean to roll forwards. Die! No one has anything truly unique, and I'm just finding that sad. I goes like the loyalists versus the rebels are the same, and then there's the force people. They're the same. Well, actually, we never fight the loyalists, so they seem to be structured about the same. Though from what we've seen, they're only riflemen. But anyway, of what we fight, it's, you know, everyone has just the same, like, few groups of people. Sometimes they might have a unique twist on something, like a bonus, like the melees of these can blink around a slight bit. Not much, but a little. And it's just like, There's nothing truly unique. Like, one faction doesn't have like, I don't know. It's not asymmetric. It's pretty identical. Like, look at StarCraft. Yeah, the protests have zealots. No one else really has, and you know, Terran have no melee units. Thank you. Protoss have zealots. Zerg may have melee units, but they don't have a zealot equivalent. And you know, no one has a Zergling or anything like that. So it's just or like maybe look at Halo. There are complete differences between the different factions. And even the Flood that does borrow units, those units often play differently then. So I would like more enemy types. Not something I ever really acknowledge, but I feel it's something I should. And here it does feel a little more grating. Because you are killing a lot of them, and it's a little more annoying. I suppose in the top-down, like more Diablo thing, which this is clearly kind of aping, it'll be less annoying. But since I'm up close in their grids, it's more annoying. Maybe if they died easier, it'll be less annoying. They would overstay their welcome less. Oh, whoops. Oh, so kind. Thank you for getting closer. Now I can beat your ass. Christ, look at that jaw on him. That's creepy. For at least a little bit while the ammo boost is active, I can't stand toe-to-toe with enemies. The life steal from it is pretty potent. Oh, human corpse. I'm sure she just... Sounds off. Yeah, human corpse. I'm sure she doesn't have one of those. Typically there's a chest in these areas. Interesting tree. Let's pull back. Get rid of these. Oh, wait. That's just insane. Alright, now let us... yes, it is you. I was thinking this was something else. To apologize to people for the error in the game, the inventory losses and the various connectivity issues. They're going to give people a level appropriate legendary, apparently in an upcoming patch. I can only hope it's something actually good for me. Wow. That just increases your armor by that much. Nearly double mine. Sure. It's a nice little tanky thing. Physical damage reduction 62.4%. Up from 44.7. Okay. Ooh, adrenaline's nice. I'll bring rejuvenation onto this. Oh, killing shots and enemies afflicted with bleed replenish 50% of ammo in your magazine. 50%. That's better than Toxical Head's 40. Do I have many plus bleed things? I think I do. I might switch it over to a bleed, so. And Chonian Outriders bracers. Chonian. Oh, Enochian. Enochian. That's of interest. Okay. You.
magic, we'll never know.
I wish I could just hear them in this. In the upgrade screen.
Lush gardens turned to desert. City. So what happened?
Okay, he was just making a point there that they had a beautiful place here, beautiful city and whatnot, so they must have had storms under control for long enough to do it, to build it. So what happened?
Gardens all around the city above the obelisks. Perhaps they used the energy drawn from the anomalous to power their lights, operate their mills, transport water. It's directly controlling us now.
Just hire the audio really loud. I'll be quiet till I'm done with this. Of course, he stops talking. Alright, lower it back down, so. That is nice. But, don't think it'll work too well. Just with what I'm doing. It'll get in the way. If I already had bleeding shots on something, then I could put something onto it. But, bone shrapnel would, in a sense, work, but I like the idea of more direct application bleeds rather than having to kill someone, then get to kill someone else. Because it's shots to bleeding enemies that give me money. Give me ammo, not anything else. Oh, I need to upgrade that. That's gonna bleed me. Eh. Ooh, that's cool. Somehow they think this is new. Alright, I think I'm ready to part with it. I'm gonna break it down. Clairvoyant's mantle. You serve me well. We won't head back just yet.
There's gotta be hundreds of dead packs here, executed, piled up. This whole city is a mass grave.
Monroy's people, they did this. I think it's getting real clear who the packs were scared of, who they changed themselves into pharaohs to protect themselves from.
Again, I hope we get to kill Monroy. Though I have a feeling they did it themselves. Ugh. It's fitting, I suppose. You can hear me, the game, see the game, and the recording. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's unhygienic. Oh, Jesus. Look at my health increase. Oh, but yeah, that happens. Oh, okay. We're just gonna pretend it didn't. Fine with me. Yeah, see, containment. So this build is slightly more potent. Well, this way of doing it is slightly more potent. So, calling the build a bit much, but using this bleed one, it gets me back an extra little bit. It's all good. Apologies. While I'm playing, sometimes I have things flash before my eyes. Well, while I exist, it generally happens, but yeah, sometimes even when I'm recording. Been a little flaky about taking my antidepressant a while back, so sometimes it just happens. So,
This place, it was a slave market.
just get back into it. That it? I think I interrupted. It's very sensitive. So yeah, I'm just getting back into it to. So hopefully that'll help. Hopefully.
Seems like they got hit by the worst storm yet. Hundreds died. Whatever the packs once were doing to control the storms, they couldn't do it anymore. He feared an uprising, losing control as packs started to abandon the city. Nikolai Galyatkin, Monroy made him general and put him in charge of weapons production.
No doubt the same weapons the Ferals used against them later.
I did not know it was possible for the strange storms to get even worse, but we barely survived the last one. I saw colleagues torn apart, buildings pulled into the air against all known physics. Though packs make numerous attempts to enter their temples to reach their obelisks, they were too damaged by the storms, but Monroy had them gunned down. How can he believe the packs are inflicting this madness on us, when as many of them died in the storms as their own they're calling it the Great Storm, but I've trouble believing it'll be the last. Enoch itself has started to change. Once fertile soils become barren, and nothing we can do to grow crops seems to work. Green valleys and woodlands are turning to desert. The clear waters that ran through the rivers have turned dark, undrinkable. The lakes and oceans have begun to dry out. The madness of Monroy knows no bounds, and it's not just him. All those who follow him, driven by fear of their own bloodlust. These were never good people. Good people didn't make it off Earth. But those of us that have tried to retain some shred of decency, don't even know if there's any left. But Nikolai, his loyalty to Monroy for saving his life has made him blind. Believes everything Monroy tells him, and follows his orders without question. In the wake of the great storm, packs were fleeing the city. Nikolai was put in charge of rounding them up to make an example of them. No one will tell me details. A week later I found a note someone had placed in my locker. It was a tip, coordinates to a location half a day's ride from the city. The temperature, above 100, the sun was scorching. I was covered in sweat. Then I found what they'd been where they'd been disposing of the bodies. The wind started picking up as I stood over the mass grave. So quickly becoming covered in a coat of grey powder, bones and ashes of packs that had been burned en masse, their remains being blown around by the wind. Still stuck up to my hair, to my clothes. I cannot get it off me. What have we done? Congratulations! You have contracted various cannibalistic disorders from that corpse ash. Pika? No, Pika is something else. Wow, there's that one laughing disorder. I know that. Fuck if I can remember what it's called though.
Monroy. This palace is covered with flags, all with... It's gotta be his face. He made himself king of the packs.
A king?
A tyrant.
Seems they're still trying to get in. Okay, this guy's got a few different moves. Okay, I need to get him hit by this. No. Sanctuary denied. There's 2 warlords with him. Thankfully the other one couldn't heal, or just didn't. Don't even know what that was, but denied! Objection! Oh god, it's kind of Protosy. Or maybe he's more of a broken Draenei. Just like the face of it. Ooh.
Courtyard's clear. Monroy was sending out raids to hunt down the fleeing packs. And that's when the uprising he'd predicted finally found him. But it wasn't the packs. At least, not as he expected.
The Pharaoh. He never saw them coming.
But Monroy didn't retreat. That asshole dug in out there, in the desert, and tried to track them down where they were coming from. That's when he found the canyon and the great obelisk. He finally understood there who the Pharaohs were. But that's when he got word that the city was under attack.
And so it was. The beginning of the end.
A few months passed since Monroy orders to round up the packs that were trying to escape. One night while out hunting with Monroy, we were attacked. They came out of the darkness. Panic and confusion were quickly overcome as we regrouped and repelled the assault. Although I could not see our attackers in the dark, I examined one of their injured. They are anthropod, enormous in size, rabid and predatory. Anthropoid? In nature. Unlike any of the beings we've encountered on Enoch, but something about their eyes was eerily familiar. Even then I knew something was not right, but Monroy had no idea what had been unleashed. Commander had ordered a fort built, a base out of which they could track down the beasts and root them out. He ordered I return to the city to defend against any potential attacks, keep the packs in check. Caruso wasn't happy to see me. Then it finally happened. The Pharaohs attacked the city just as storm descended on us. We barely held them back, and now they besiege us. We received a call from Monroy as we repaired our barricades damaged from the last assault. Freaking out, barely coherent, trying to describe a great canyon in the desert. A giant obelisk, and now discovered pharaohs, or in fact packs, transformed by some kind of arcane ritual. He claimed his fears that the packs would seek to destroy us had finally come true. He even sounded proud of his prediction. There was zero introspection on his part, zero acknowledgement that everything that's happened was a result of his paranoia. Indira was right. All this time she warned me of my blind devotion. We brought this on ourselves. Monroy has ordered me to eliminate the packs to prevent more of them from transforming into pharaohs. They guarded them all and killed them en masse by whatever means available. He declared he would return to the city and put an end to the siege. He still believed himself for savior while he ensures their downfall. He's insane. We've opened Pandora's box. Monroy pushed the packs too far. They've begun willfully evolving into primal, bloodthirsty expressions of relentless survival. Or maybe they've regressed into an ancestral step of their evolution. A step natural selection saw fit to bring them out of. A step only human intervention could revert them to. I don't know what to do. Doubts have taken over my mind, paralyzed by the realization of what we brought on ourselves, of what we have sown, and what we are to reap. Hundreds of thousands of packs are still out there, each one a possible feral. Eliminating them is the only way we can live, the only way I can continue to wake up every morning and watch the sunrise over those dunes. All I have to do is give the order. I can feel the words sitting on my tongue. My soldiers look at me expectantly, waiting for the slightest gesture to signal they can begin. But I cannot bring myself to say it. Caruso saw my indecision, my paralysis, seized his chance and took control. Walked out to execute Monroy's orders. I didn't even resist, because I can no longer be a part of this. It makes sense that someone, like, if someone saves your life, would feel pretty indebted to them. But there's got to be limits. Still with that locking mechanism? Seems flawed, given that they wouldn't have been able to use it. Only an altered child of Enoch, so the Pax or altered, can use it. Only they can. So these people wouldn't, I thought it was a corpse, wouldn't actually be able to take advantage of it. So I'm not sure how they were able to seemingly keep the ferals out. Also, this place is overgrown completely. I think we can just put it down to the anomalous effects going on and not anything woven by a critter. I think we would have gotten confirmation of that already if it had been.
Found Dr. Indira's last journal.
How do you know?
Because she wrote it just before getting executed. By Monroy. She tried to broker a truce with the Pax, thinking she could stop the ferals if she surrendered Monroy to them.
Jeez. I finally did what I should have done long ago, what we both should have done, Nikolai. I stood up to Monroy. I believe I could end this war we created. Monroy had invited me for a meal I assumed to be my last, but I hadn't come unarmed. Brewed up toxin out of the pollen of the bilious flower Dr. Heat had discovered. Monroy tried to pry out of me all I had learned about the ferals, the last attempt to empty me of any usefulness before he was done with me. But I had my game too. Watch him choke on his own bile after ingesting my toxin in his drink. It worked. I had soldiers on my side ready to whisk him out of his castle. If I brought Monroy's head to the Pax, I believed today we could stop the sort of beast he transformed into. Maybe even change those ferals back into Pax. But one thing I did not account for. Monroy's sheer bull-headed stubbornness, his force of will. He fought through my toxin, he fucking survived it. He called his guards who overpowered my men before he even knew what was happening, and then it was over. I huddle here now, hiding, waiting the inevitable. There's no way out of this palace. There's guards everywhere. I have 5, maybe 10 more minutes before they find me and drag me off to be discarded like the rest of us who disobeyed him. I pray you find this, Nikolai. I know we had our differences, but we've both changed. I can hear you telling me it was a mistake to try and kill Monroy. It was never going to fix anything, but but you can still do something to restore Enoch. You can find a way to make things right. That's one thing I thought I find solace in. That is the one thought I can find solace in. That I at least got to see this planet. I got to see the Pax in their prime and all the wonder they were capable of. 100 years from now, when our bones have become sand, when Monroy's skull has been crushed by the winds, this last gasp of humanity will not even be a memory. And then the Pax will finally return to shepherd Enoch back to its lost days of glory. Maybe we... Yeah. I just need to check Discord. Someone may message me. Oh, nope, no one messaged me. That's fine. Remember the corpos in? I actually finally mustered the strength to actually talk in it. So, it worked out. Yeah. Again, it wasn't that there were scary people around, it was just me being nervous. I'm painfully shy due to everything. And it's something I've never actually really been able to push past. Something I desire to, but it's something I haven't been able to do yet. But, as Mom said, you only get strength by doing what you fear.
Palace is clear.
What do you see?
You better come up here and see for yourself.
Throne's just floating there. We've kind of forgotten all about Moloch.
This Monroy was a madman. Hey, there's a ship!
Is that the Caravel?
That's not possible. Caravel never left Earth. Its engines exploded. Tens of thousands died.
Then what the hell are we looking at?
The source of the fucking signal. Monroy's signal. There's no place beyond the storm. It's coming from in there, protected from the anomaly, just like the uplink in your goddamn briefcase.
I don't fucking understand.
Neither do I. It doesn't make any sense. Everyone saw the Caravel explode during its construction. Even if the people left on Earth were able to rebuild the ship, they left after us.
Time anomaly.
We were the first. Nevertheless, what's certain is that Monroy enslaved August's people. He butchered them, and they turned. They mutated into savages willingly, so they could fight back.
If only they kept some degree of control.
With all this, whatever's waiting for you on that ship, I want no part of it.
Tiago, you can't leave us now.
I thought you weren't a deserter.
What they did to August's people. What our people did to August, don't you see? Thank you for letting me walk a ways with you.
I
We're
hope
going to finish this. We're finding a way into the Caravel.
he stays in the car. You know? And he doesn't just try and walk the whole way back.
That ship, the signal, the garden. I'm ready to make some sense of all this. We'll leave on your word, Outrider.
After August's death, Tiago was distraught, learning truth about Monroy's actions, his subjugation of the Pax, and how he forced him to change the Ferals. Finally brought Tiago to his knees. Despondent and hopeless, he walked off into the desert, abandoning you in the mission, just as he abandoned the trenches. Perhaps he isn't the voyager he claimed to be. Tiago knows full well that solitude in this desert means almost certain death. No, he suicided. Again, I suppose it's unsurprising. August was a surrogate daughter for him, and both his daughter died and his surrogate daughter died. So, it's unsurprising. So is that whole ship made out of moo metal? So, because that's the implication. Monroy could be on the ship if it's sheltered, if it's a safe place. Oh, Bender's helmet. Caravel, believed to never have left Earth, towers above a large settlement. A miserable place that reeks of death and despair, the same place you've been seeking all this time. The source of signal and the end of your journey. Let's go turn in the hunter quests. Then let's go turn in some artifacts. Game's kind of twitching out a little. The game's twitching out a little. Also, there's no bombardments going on there.
Want to try the new blend? Call it the liver spinner.
Uh-huh. Boost shotguns. Savor the feeble. Increases duration of weakness. I'll go with this.
That'll do nicely.
How haven't these walls caved in? There's a limit, man. And I hope those have been properly prepared. Ooh, nice.
That'll do nicely.
You know, actually preserved and not just hung up as they are. What did I say?